Moving up north now, testimony began today in former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan's corruption trial. The first to testify was business owner and former state representative Carol Senti, who worked directly with Madigan and co-defendant Tim Mapes and spoke to Madigan's control over legislation passed when she was in office. The former speaker was charged in a 23-count indictment with racketeering, conspiracy, using interstate facilities in aid of bribery, wire fraud, and attempted extortion. He is also accused of using his influence to pass legislation favorable to utility companies that doled out kickbacks, jobs, and contracts to Madigan loyalists. This trial could last 3 months.